Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Slowed and Reverb podcast. I'm Jonathan, and joining me are my two good friends, Brandon and Richard.
What's up, guys?
Hello, welcome back.
Yeah, we got a fun episode today. Uh, we're gonna look at the album by A Tribe Called Quest. We got it from here. Thank you for your service. This album is one of my favorites. I have it up on my wall. Vinyl's hanging on the wall, but I love this album. I'm not even gonna wait to say it. I picked it this week to let these two guys hear it. I think they've heard it before, but they probably haven't really sat down with it since it came out. Most likely, I don't even know.
Yeah, when you sent me a list of albums to listen to, and I'll admit it, I didn't listen to all of them, but I did listen to this one before. But I didn't like put a whole lot of thought into it, and going listening to it now in preparation for this podcast, it's really something that you gotta like listen to, like fully immerse yourself in, because there's so many good messages and just themes going on throughout this whole album.
Yeah, I listened to this album like a while ago, but I never like sat down and like listened to it. I don't know, I don't remember how I came across the album, but it was my first Tribe Called Quest album. Uh, I think I only really listened like two songs off of the album. Like it's been a while since I listened to the complete album as a whole. So yeah, I agree with Richard that you gotta like sit down and understand the messages and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean this is a powerful album, and I was a tribe fan beforehand. You know, Midnight Marauders, all that, Low End Theory. I loved it all, and hearing that Fife Dog died was it was pretty brutal. As I was attached, but then we got this masterpiece. I personally think this is their best work. Um, and the posthumous like element of it in one hand is very like sad, and but the on the other hand it's so empowering almost. I don't know. It makes it that much better. And it makes the emotions in this album just stand out. But so do you guys have any other thoughts before we dive in?
Um, Not really. Wait, what before this album, when was their last release? And what was it?
What was their most recent? I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look that up.
Okay. So I remember reading like it's been like what 20 years since their last album when they released this one.
Their last album that they released was The Love Movement in 1998.
Wow.
And this one came out in 2016, so that's like
Yes. They
18
did
years.
have a like I think it's a greatest hits album in '03, and then they had uh a reissue in 2015. But yeah, this is their first album in almost 20 years. It was 18 years. Um yeah,
All right.
but and it kind of came out of nowhere too, because I mean, I at least heard that Q-Tip and Fife Dog weren't in the best relationship, which is why it took so long to, you know, uh, for them to make another album. But I could have heard that wrong. I don't know. I don't have a source to back that up. But it is interesting. It did come out of nowhere when it dropped in 2016. So, but with that, I guess we can dive right in. The first song, "The Space Program." You guys want to give your thoughts first?
Okay. I guess I'll start. So, I was really surprised by the production because I'm not used to like listening to like this type of production or whatever, and I was really surprised by what's his name?
Who, Q-Tip?
Yeah, he does the intro, right?
I
Q-Tip.
think,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was really surprised by the intro, and then when Q-Tip comes in rapping, he was flowing really well. He was moving like butter. His rhymes were really good. I think the flow was really good, and like I don't know. I think it matched the production really well. Like it took me a while to get into it, but then like once I like paid attention to what he was saying about like um just like African Americans and stuff, it was flowing really good.
Any thoughts, Richard?
Like on first listen, I thought it's like completely different from what I think of rap being like now. It's it feels old school, but uh, I don't know. I don't listen to enough lyrical rappers really, but like I don't know. Even like Kendrick doesn't sound like a Tribe Called Quest. It's just their style of rapping is a bit more old school, but I guess that makes sense given that they're an older group, and their last album was released before the 2000s. But even with that, I mean, I think they did a tremendous job on this first track. The production was crazy. I loved the intro with Q-Tip and Fife. I'm a huge nerd for songs that like they play like a sound or like a part of the song through one like earbud or like channel, and then it goes to the next one. So like the
Yeah, in
gonna make it to
stereo.
make it to make it. Yeah, the stereo, like taking advantage of the stereo sound is just I love it. It's so great when you're hearing it in the car and you're hearing it left to right or headphones. And yeah, I mean the beat was pretty. It's simple for the most part, but the lyricism is where like everything really shines in this track for me. And it's crazy how I mean, 4 years ago isn't that long of a time span, I suppose, but it's still so relevant to like now, which is crazy. Nothing has really changed here, but it's a really strong opener to the album for sure.
Oh, yeah. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it that I think this song is my favorite on the entire album. It
Really?
is, yeah. I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite. This album's great. This album's like near perfect. Um, but I think this intro hit so hard when I first heard it, and it's hit the same every single time. And then they dropped the music video, and then you had the part where it pans over to just a mic stand, and it plays Fife's verse, and it's just like, oh, it hurts. It's even more powerful at that point. And they're going on about race struggles, class struggles the whole time, and it's like you said, Q-Tip flows like butter over these beats. I mean, he flowed like a madman back then too. He's just they're they're like old school, but this sound is so crisp and new. It's fresh, but and I love it. I love this song. I love the production. I love the kooky little samples, the like weird Willy Wonka thing at the end. Like I don't know. It works. It just everything that you need is there. And tremendous opener. Really set the tone for the album. Really showed the headspace they were in when they were making this. Really showed what they were going for in sound. And the album's very cohesive and it just goes from track to track to track so perfectly. And this sets it all up, and it does it so fantastically.
And
And
no, keep
no,
going.
no, 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 you go.
I was gonna say, yeah, I agree. It really sets the tone for the entire album, and I think Richard summed it up pretty good. It's like, cause like like Kendrick doesn't sound like this, and yet it's still like the production's good, and the messages they're still equally as powerful.
Well,
And I
Kendrick's
think,
a product of his peers, and
mhm,
these, not his peers, but like his, the legends that came before him, and these are very much legends that came before him, and you can hear it sometimes, but he's much more influenced by Pac than he is Tribe, I believe.
mm,
But even then, like you can hear the Tribe in him even. And these guys paved the way for a lot of that type of sound, like the jazz rap scene in general. Because I mean, there are jazz musicians that study these guys. Like they're a big deal. So, but, sorry, what were you saying?
um, shoot, I forgot. Oh yeah, it doesn't sound like today's rap, and yet you know it's still good.
Oh yeah, I love it. This song, if it's just I can't put into words how much I like this song. I'm sorry. Uh, but yeah, I love it. The hook is great. The verses are phenomenal. That beat is infectious. I'll find myself humming to it randomly. Like I don't hear you. I don't even hear the song, and like a week later, I'll just be like, humming the humming the beat. Oh man, I love it. Any final thoughts, Richard, before we move forward?
I thought it was a pretty solid song. I really liked it. I don't know if it's my personal favorite, but it's definitely up there. It's really powerful, and it really set my expectations. I think I say this in every single podcast so far, but like the intro track is there to set expectations. If you don't listen to like singles or anything before then, so and just like the energy in that song and the production, the lyrics, everything, just sets the mood for the entire record going forward.
All right. Well, with that, we'll continue forward with "We the People." This song is great, but I will say, it's a bit weird for me to listen to this in the car because I have it in my playlist. It'll come up here and there, but it is kind of weird hearing that chorus, and you think, man, if someone heard this chorus without any like context to what I'm listening to, they'd think I'm like awful. But
Yeah,
No,
exactly. It was stuck in my head after I listened to this, and I felt really bad, like, because like I know like it's not meant to be taken at face value. It's not like Q-Tip is like saying that. It was just more like a representation of like the time, people in power at the time.
hmm And that, I mean, that's what it's meant to show. It's meant to just singing it the way he does just points to the absurdity. Like it just points to how hateful that like the I mean, let's face it, the alt right just points to how hateful they get regarding these different groups. And it is awkward to sit there and listen to this, but it's a very real reality that Q-Tip has shown us.
yeah, this album's full of a lot of reality checks. Like you said, the hook or whatever. Like without context, like it sounds bad, but it's like it's what actually happens. Like it's what some people actually think.
Yeah, and I can't even imagine because I mean, I'm white. I don't have to. I bet you two deal with it a lot more than I could ever like fathom. That you probably have to put up with stuff like this even.
Yeah, a bit, especially.
Probably. Sorry, Brandon. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, especially during the last presidency, with the whole Mexicans are rapists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which this album was released when, or the year that Donald was elected. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. This song just screams the Trump movement to me. Personally, I just hear it in every lyric here. False narratives of gods that came up against the odds. Like, goodness, it's just it's so true. People were looking up to Trump even like, hey, look, he made it. He's the American dream. When no, he was handed the money from the beginning. Like, he didn't make anything. Uh, I don't know, but we're not here to get political. I can be liberal all day elsewhere. Uh,
I mean, the album's pretty political. I
I
don't
mean,
think
it
there's a
is, and
whole.
that's why I like it. I mean, poli sci major, big libtard over here too. I don't know. I love it. I love this song, but
I like how
it.
the
Oh yeah.
song. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to say I like how the song sounds like he's talking through like a megaphone or something. Like he's trying to get everyone's attention about the injustices that happen in America.
Oh yeah. It's a powerful one, that's for sure. Were you gonna say something, Richard?
No, I wasn't.
All right. Well, you guys don't mind, we can move forward.
Yep, let's do it. Let's talk about whatever will be.
All right. Whatever will be, featuring consequences all over this album. He's basically not a feature, to be fair. He's basically part of the tribe at that point. But still, he's everywhere. What do you guys think?
I really like the one line where he's like, "Are you amused by our like what's the line? Hold on. Are you amused by our struggles?" I think that was a really good line because like it's crazy to think how like popular culture and media like they glorify like drugs, like all this crime and stuff, and it's like an actual problem in African American communities. I don't know, that one line stood out the most because like people glorify this stuff even though it's like a real problem.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, this song just hits like a brick of reality. It shows the problems that we're going through. We're still going through. This is 4 years ago. There were songs like this 20 years ago. There were songs like this in the 1920s even.
Hmm.
Like, and yet we're still going through lots of this stuff. Um, you know, lots of lines here, you know, just hit like a brick, and it kind of makes you feel almost powerless, because there's so much wrong with the system itself. Like, how do you fight against that?
Well, that's what I like about Q-Tip's verse is that it's a little bit more hopeful. Like at the end he's talking about how, kids have so much hope for the future and, faith in like the government and other systems. He's saying that, maybe someday, it'll be true because of the youth and their potential for power. So it's pretty sad, but I think Q-Tip tries to like look on the bright side a little bit that maybe things can change.
Yeah, and overall, I mean, despite the lyrical content, the song isn't really like rap or anything. I don't know. It's kind of like a hey ya type situation where the lyrics are one way but the beats like another. But I don't know. I like this song. I'm gonna say that about every song on this album probably, but I really like the song. It's very good.
I really like the sample. I don't know what it is, but just like
No,
it
their
like happens
sampling
in between
is
verses.
it's so good. Like,
Yeah.
no, yeah, they kill all the samples. It's ridiculous. But all right. You guys want to head forward? Any other thoughts before a long
Uh,
album, so.
has 16 tracks.
Plus, I think Brandon mentioned something about this next song being his favorite, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
curious to hear. Let's move forward to that then. Solid Wall of Sound. Let's hear it, Brandon. What's going on?
All right, so I just want to say the beginning of the song, the build up to, them going solid wall of sound, like it's so addicting. I don't know why, but it's catchy. Like I find myself,
Oh, it's gorgeous. I
yeah.
love it. Ooh.
And then Busta Rhymes is in this song, and I don't think I've ever heard a Busta Rhymes like feature or song. I mean I've heard him on Look at Me Now.
Never?
No,
Wow.
I've heard him on like Look at Me Now or
Okay.
whatever. But that's like a different Busta Rhymes. Like on this track, he sounds different, and I like it.
No, Busta's nice. I don't. You know, the more I think about Busta Rhymes, I'm like shocked that he's not more in the discussion of like a goat discussion. He's not in that as much as he honestly could be. He's really good and has had a career that spans so long, and yeah, he does a great job in all of his features on this album. This one really well.
Yeah, I really like his verse on this one. I like the feature. And yeah, I think Solid Wall of Sound is probably my favorite song, if not top two on this album. It's really good.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. What do you think, Richard? How do you feel about Solid Wall of Sound?
I thought that this song was gonna be more of like a cacophony sound, just like a bunch of just like I thought it was gonna be like super chaotic, but it was really smooth, very soothing. I liked Elton John on this song. I didn't
Oh,
know he was in it. I had to look at the Genius page for it to figure out later. But guys, I gotta be honest about something, and I know it's gonna make you guys upset.
Here we go. Let's
I
go.
I I something about Busta Rhymes' voice just takes me out of it. I don't like.
Oh,
I'm not. I
oh,
can't. I'm not.
it's
I
like
don't
a
like
knife
his
in my
voice.
chest.
I don't like his voice that much. I wasn't very interested with his verse personally.
Yikes. I don't know how to respond to that. Oof,
I
that's
don't know. I mean,
rough.
it's personal preference. It's really all it
I
comes down
guess,
to.
but I don't know. Busta's voice on this song is so nice.
it for
It
me, it took a while for me to like get used to it, but then after a while, like I started like mimicking the verse or whatever.
Yeah.
it might be because I have I've listened to his older discography and I'm more familiar with Busta, but
Yeah.
I really like the power he has in his voice. I can't explain it any other way. It's very powerful and very enunciated, and I think he's Jamaican. I could be wrong. I could be terribly, terribly wrong, but he has that Jamaican twang, in his voice that just sounds so great, and it's such a nice contrast to the other members of Tribe in this song. I love it. Oh, but yeah, I agree with Brandon and you in regards to the intro. Um, that that little Elton John bit that I didn't know it was Elton John either. Um, man, it sounds great. It's so catchy. You find yourself singing a lot of this album as time goes on after you listen to it. It's a catchy album. They really know what they're doing. Production wise, sample wise, verse wise, hook wise, it all just comes together. But yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like the Elton John sample too. I forgot to mention that.
All right, I guess we'll move forward to Disgeneration. Uh, I guess I'll start. I haven't started on the song yet. I don't think. Um, I like this song a lot. It's not one of the better ones, but it's still like very very good. Like that's just a testament to how good the album is. That like the weaker songs on the album are still like 8 out of 10s. Like it's so I don't know the beat is so fresh and funky and oh man I love it. And you know I really like the message of this is the one where they were like torch passing, right?
Yeah, they shout out Earl Sweatshirt, baby. If you guys remember Earl Sweatshirt, top 5 favorite artists. But yeah, they shout out Earl Sweatshirt, Joey Badass, Kendrick Lamar, and like 2 other people.
And J. Cole. How could we forget J. Cole?
Yep, good old J. Cole.
Does it? Hold on, where is it?
That's not a
Yeah,
joke either. Yeah.
yeah, Joey, Earl, Kendrick, and Cole, gatekeepers afloat. Wow.
Yeah, that's a solid list of this or the previous generation. I'd argue that it's now a previous generation, which is kind of scary for me to think about because these guys were popping when I was getting into the genre. So
So now you got even more catching up to do.
honestly, but yeah, I like the torch passing nature of the song. It's really hard to pull off a song like this when you're 20 years since you've made an album. You're lots of people would call you a dusty old head, and you're talking about you know the new people, the new school, and it's really hard to pull off a song like that without sounding corny or what's the word, like one of those old guys on the lawns that's just like, get off my lawn, kids, you suck. Back in my day. It's really hard to not come off that way, but they do a really good job, I think. It doesn't sound too preachy either. What do you think, Richard? What do you?
Yeah, I like the message. I like the faith in the new generation. Not even I mean in rap, I mean they mentioned rap specifically, but just like in the newer generations as a whole, it's a nice change of pace from boomers and other adults thinking like the next generation's gonna ruin the world and everything. There's a lot of you know every generation thinks they're the best generation, but it's nice that like they're looking towards the future with this track. I like the guitar on the throughout the song and the chorus, you know the chorus. I'm not gonna mimic it because it'll sound really bad, but I really love that too. It's just they're making like really good like earworms
No,
like
yeah,
on
that
every
that
track.
guitar riff is sick. Oh, it's so beautiful. You're right. Sorry to cut you off there, but
No, you're fine. Um, that was basically it. And one thing I wanted to mention because I have it in my notes quite a bit, but like in almost every song, like I mentioned Q-Tip. I mean, Q-Tip is shows up on almost every track on the album, but I think he does really well, like the whole way through. Like I don't think there's a dull moment from him, like up until this point and beyond. But I've I'm a Q-Tip fan after this.
that makes me happy to hear. I'm doing my job. I'm converting the
Yeah.
Zoomers.
For me, what's his name? Consequence. He grew on me on this entire album. I really like him, even though he's just like features.
Oh yeah, he does really well too. I liked him popping up quite a bit.
Well, we can continue on. The next song kind of had a similar, a somewhat similar theme. It's talking about kids, the next generation, and I mean it's called Kids, so
Yeah.
and it has that beautiful Andre verse. Oh, I love Andre 3000 so much. Oh, hearing him, because I when I listen to a new album, I typically don't like looking at the feature list unless it's like a project that I don't necessarily care for. You know, I try to go in blind on that first listen. I remember that first listen be like, Andre, oh, you know, like just freaking out. It's like that DJ Academics clip when Drake comes on, when,
Yeah.
Drake,
It's
when Drake comes on the on sicko mode. He's just like freaking out in his chair, moving around.
Yeah.
That was me with Andre. Oh man, I love that verse. I love it. His hook, which I don't know if it's a sample or not. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I really like this song.
I think it has a really catchy hook. Andre 3000. He does really good. I like the overall like theme of kids are kids. Adults were kids once too. But you got to look down on us when you were in our shoes before. I like the song.
Mm-hmm.
I love the later in the song the back and forth between Andre and Q-Tip. Like I love when songs do that where they just like trade back and forth, just
Yeah,
like lines and stuff.
it's really nice. And again, I mean, it's hard to come off not as preachy, but this really does feel like an elder moment in a way, like kind of, and
What do
it's
you mean by that?
just pointing out things that you might, if you do wrong, you'll look back on and regret it. Like they talk about like their teeth rotting or something at one part, like
Ah,
from
yeah,
fast food, and like take care of yourself.
yeah,
And that's a weird message to include in a song, but and it doesn't come off preachy or anything. It's nice. I like it.
yeah. It's genuine, and I like that. There's like a self-referential type thing to it too, because it's like they're like adults have like the cheat codes, and they can pass on these lessons to so that way you don't make the same mistakes they did in life and you end up better off for it. I like that quite a bit.
Hmm. Any other thoughts before we move on to melatonin?
I don't have any.
All right, we'll go into melatonin then. What do you guys think about it?
Richard should start. He hasn't started one.
I haven't. Oh, okay. I guess I haven't.
I
I
think you have.
thought, yeah, I'm not sure, but this song, I don't know. The beat is kind of like spacey, like kind of like it's almost like maybe like you're kind of out of it, which I guess makes sense because like the song subject matter and title is about melatonin, so that makes sense. I like the backup vocals on here. I really liked Abby Smith's chorus, and I really like her chorus. So many thoughts in my mind, making it very hard to unwind. Uh, it's just like it shows like how easy it is to like find an escape in something else and how quickly you can become addicted to it. You know, I like at my job, I work from home, and it's hard to really like take my mind off of work because like I'm in the same space and I just like can't pull my mind off of it. So it's just like I don't know, like I relate to that. I don't relate to the addiction aspect of it. I'm not popping melatonin like Swedish fish, but like that just really like hit for me. Like I worried for myself, like I could probably fall victim to something if I let myself. Uh, and the outro about wanting to sleep and be at ease. I mean that hit hard for me too. Not in like a not in like a terribly bad way, but like yeah, sometimes I'm really just like looking forward to sleep myself because it's like the only time that I'm not racking my brain around with some other problems of my life. It's just this one hit especially hard for me.
Yeah, I agree that I think you summed it up perfectly because like the song's about melatonin, right? And it's like there's so much going on in the world and each one of us have our own worries, like and it's so easy to just like pop a melatonin, go to sleep, forget about everything that's going on in the world. And like in the end, like you said, we all just want to sleep. We all just want this like crazy stuff that's going on in our lives to like settle down and just enjoy life how it's meant to be. Well, not because some people are gonna say, "Well, that's what life's about." But just for once, it'd be nice to like wake up one day and not like worry about something, and just like get to do something that you actually wanted to do instead of like worry about like the 5 assignments that are posted on Canvas or like you gotta like walk your dog, walk your goldfish, whatever, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I might have like thought too much into this song, but I really took it as like a play on the term woke. If you're woke, then you have an eye to the social struggles of whether it's class, race, gender, sexual orientation. You have your eye is on it, and you're not in the dark. You're not asleep. And I kind of took it as like Q-Tip is kind of wishing for that day when you don't have to be woke. The problems, the struggles of the days, they will end, and you don't have to. You can finally rest. You can finally relax. You can finally not care like so many people like me that are white middle class moderates. You know we don't have to care if we don't want to. And I feel like that's what he's getting at. One day that he wants that rest, that the kind of privilege that I can enjoy, which is sad. But I mean that's what I got out of it mostly. I might be reading too much into it, but again, I mean I thought it fit well into the theme of the album overall.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. I don't think you're reading too into it because it does fit the theme of the album.
Yeah, I don't think your interpretation could be wrong if that's what it makes you feel, especially given the context of the rest of
Yeah.
it. I mean, I know this was made in 2016, but after Biden won, there were a bunch of tweets from people online saying, "Oh, glad I don't have to worry about politics anymore." Like that's just so like that's popping the melatonin. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
choosing to close your eyes on what's going on in America to people who are less fortunate than them.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Well, again, I like that song. I like that. Who sings that? Abby Smith.
Yeah, that's her name, Abby
That
Smith.
is that is a gorgeous chorus. Oh man, they. I don't think there's. Is there a bad chorus on this album? Like, can they do wrong?
I don't think they can. I don't remember a bad chorus on this at all.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was very solid. I don't know. It's just all great. It's all great. Let's end it here. Thanks for. No, I'm joking.
You gave it 10 out of 10, guys. Our work here's done.
All right, next we'll go to enough. 2 exclamation points. Enough. Uh, what do you guys think about this one?
So I just read the Genius page, and apparently Sid from the internet, aka a branch from Odd Future, provided vocals to this track. So just wanted to point that out.
She did?
Yeah, she did. I just read it.
Oh my god. I was looking at it earlier too. I had no idea. That is crazy.
That she really said, and they shouted out Earl in like the new generation song. This generation, I mean.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, I think Sid fits perfectly on this song. I mean, she's in the write up on Genius, she's not listed any particular verse or chorus or anything. So she probably does backup vocals, but like this is such a smooth, like sexy song. Like it's kind of like an internet song almost. But um, Q-Tip's chorus is catchy. We were just talking about how, every single chorus on this album is just catchy. It's really soothing. The backup vocals are really good. Knowing that it's Sid makes so much more sense now. But I thought the song was beautiful. I thought it was really great.
Sorry for that Zoomer contribution, by the way.
No, it's
It's
fine.
important to
It's
know.
fine. They reached out across the timeline in a way. So if there's things here and there that make you go, oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. Yeah, I like the song. Uh, I don't much care for when rappers talk about their sex acts. It's like the one weak part of the song when Q-Tip is going in about that. But
It's like, is it a problem if I.
like, okay, it's a little weird listening to it, but whatever. Uh, I do like the overall message though. Am I enough? I feel like anyone who's ever been in a relationship or not been in a relationship has questioned themselves. Am I enough? You know. Any other thoughts from you guys?
No.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with your yeah, like is this enough? Am I enough? Cuz like I've been not to flex, okay? I'm not flexing. I'm just stating something about me. I've been in a relationship for almost 3 years now, and like I still find myself like doubting my just like myself when I'm giving into it. It I just wonder too, am I really giving enough? Am I making my girlfriend, feel loved enough?
Oh yeah, relationships are hard. It's a constant battle to push and make strides for another person. It's hard. It's hard, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have those doubts. I mean, I feel like everyone does on both sides too. Like he probably thinks the same way, most likely.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um. All right. I'm gonna offer. I'm gonna from the other side, of not being so lucky, with girls. It's always like, am I enough? Like after a rejection, like, am I enough for them? Like, or is it something about me? Like, was I not enough or something like that? Like, those self doubts also come into play in rejection. It's like, you know, was there something I could have done better? Is there something I could change about myself?
no, yeah, I relate with that a lot because I mean I've only had one quote girlfriend my whole life, and my friends don't even count it, and I don't even count it because it was 3 months, and most of it was based on lies and deceiving. So, she lied to me, but I relate to am I enough? 'Cause, I'll be swiping, I'll be swiping left and right. And
Mhm.
it's like, why aren't they swiping back? Am I really enough? I feel you. I feel you. It's hard. It's hard out here.
It's hard, man.
It's,
But in my eyes, you guys are enough. I like you guys
oh,
just the way you are.
Thanks, Brandon. I feel the same way about you.
Thank.
I'm taken though.
dang. Ooh,
So
yikes. All right, let's get back to the music. That was a nice talk, though. Uh,
Yeah.
what's next? Mobius? Oh,
Mobius.
Mobius. Oh, whew. All right.
This too, by the way.
Shut up real quick, Richard, because Busta Rhymes' verse on this is phenomenal. It's great. Come on. You had to like it, right? Right?
Dude,
Jonathan,
he comes with so much energy.
Please.
let's see what Brandon wants to say about this track.
Oh! Oh
Dude,
no!
Busta Rhymes comes in with so much energy on this track. Like he sounds hungry, bro. He's going on. I love Busta Rhymes on this track.
Oh, it's so good. Richard, please.
I mean, I can admit that he has talent. I can admit that he's
Oh,
good.
Richard,
I'm
please.
not saying he's bad, but it's just not for me. It's not a bad
Oh,
thing if I'm not a fan of him.
the pain. I'm not gonna survive this episode. Richard's
It's
gonna
okay.
do me in.
Man, my entire opinion of Busta, well, not opinion, but like my, how do I want to say it? My knowledge of Busta Rhymes like really exploded after listening to this album. Cause like I said, I've only heard him on what Look at Me Now, Chris Brown. That song is like what?
You gotta hear the album he released. I think it was earlier this year or last year. I don't even remember. Quarantine has jumbled everything together. It has some great songs. If you just ignore the Farrakhan part, like it is a great album. He has one song with Kendrick. Oh, he is nutty. Ooh, he is transcended on that one. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, and you know, we gave Busta a shine, or at least me and Brandon did. Consequence did phenomenally too. Like, there's no doubt about it. He was great. This whole song is great. Like, this is one of the ones that I keep coming back to.
I think it's a good song. I think when I first listened to the album, I think it was one of the first songs I like saved. This one, sound, Solid Wall of Sound, whatever will be, yeah.
All right. Well, let's go on to the next one. I'm probably gonna butcher this name. Black Spasmodic.
I'm not even
Can I
gonna
even
try.
can I even say this word? Like, am I gonna? I hope I
uh,
can. But yeah, what do you guys think of it?
Number one, you can't say that word, and number two,
I can't.
no, you can, you can't. It means like
Okay,
occurring or done in brief,
I'm about to
irregular
say, oh
bursts.
no. Take the
Well, I mean, that's
podcast
just the
down.
dictionary definition. I don't know if it has like a second meaning that I don't know what for.
I, maybe my
Um,
my ignorance is too powerful, but
this song was good. I think it features a good hook from Consequence. Really like Consequence. He's been growing on me throughout the entire album. Um, I think they paid tribute to Fife. Is that how you pronounce his name? But Fife? Am I saying it
Life
right?
Dog, yeah,
Yeah, Fife Dog. I think they paid tribute to him in Q-Tip's verse.
yeah. I think this whole song's a tribute to him.
Yeah, when I was reading, it said that Fife recorded his verse, and so they didn't finish the song before he passed. So the verse from Q-Tip is, paying tribute after Fife does his verse.
That's rough. Whew. I can't even imagine what Q-Tip was thinking in the booth. Like, I would have had tears rolling down my face. Yeah, this one's really powerful. I think. Uh, it's a great song. I don't even know how to do it justice with words. You have any strong thoughts about it, Richard?
Besides, the tribute portion of it, I mean, I think the song, good beat, good verses, nothing to complain about on this song.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that and go on to the next song.
The Killing Season.
Yeah, this one. Oh yeah, this is the one with Kanye. Okay, yeah, yeah, I
Mhm.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember. Okay, I like this one. Very weird looking back at it. Very weird having Kanye on here. Like at the time, you didn't think anything of it. You know, it's like, oh, one of the greatest, you know, artists hopping on one of the greatest groups albums, and it's very socially conscious, just like good old Kanye, you know. Um, but now looking back over the past 4 years, that is a weird. That is so weird. Oh man. Um, 4 years really changes a lot, huh?
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this song? I really like it. I really like Kanye's hook. I love Talib Kweli's verse. Um, what do you guys think?
I like Kanye's. He did the chorus. I didn't know it was Kanye at first. I had to actually check on Genius or whatever because I had a feeling it was him, but I just had to double check. I love Consequences verse. He's like, I love that line. The When he's talking about going like in Denny's and like how the waitress was like, "Oh yeah, they have guns or whatever." I love that little line. Reason I don't know. Um, yeah, overall good song. Um, talks about how people like the injustices of African Americans and even the military, because like the military is just pawns in the government.
Well, not to mention I mean, think about where the army gets lots of their, all branches of the military where they get their soldiers from. They campaign in low income areas, which lots of times due to systematic, reasons are primarily African American. They prey on these African Americans, get them to sign their life away and go out to go out to the Middle East, shoot a child, and then die. Like it's
Yeah,
rough. It's disgusting, and I think that's what Kanye's hook, is really getting at. They sold
yeah,
you, sold
the
you, sold you.
hmm
Um,
and like excuse me for like being like like whatever, but it's like it's not so much different, like the whole they sold you type of thing.
mhm.
It's not so much different.
Almost getting at like a new type of slavery in a way, brought about by your circumstance.
Hmm.
Rather, it's a deep song, and you know, Talib Kweli is just so fitting as on this song. He's very, very outspoken about these types of issues. I mean, one of my other picks was "Black on Both Sides" by Mos Def, and Talib is on that as well because they collaborated on an album called Black Star. You guys probably haven't even heard of it, but it is very conscious about those types of issues. And so it's very fitting to have him on here. What do you think, Richard? You've been kind of silent.
I mean, you guys have basically summed up my thoughts on this song. I think the line about trying to stall progress by killing off the leaders is so like I don't know, so powerful. It's like, yeah, I mean, even if people do band together, if there's a leader behind them, they'll just get removed so that movement is just like dismantled or not as powerful as it was before.
No, yeah. I mean, if you think of something like Black Lives Matter doesn't really have a figurehead leader. You could argue like Kaepernick maybe, but even he has been, you know, he's had his life practically torn away by people who disagree. Uh, can't even do the job that he loves anymore. Uh, so yeah, that is a powerful line. This is a powerful song, and man, is it beautiful though. That instrumental is great. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, but next we got Lost Somebody. This one's not bad. Not one of my favorites though, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah,
Because it's a tribute to Fife. And I was like,
yeah, it is.
it's emotional too.
It might be because it's one of the more moodier songs. I don't know. It didn't hit me as much as the rest of the album, personally.
Okay. I
I'm
mean,
not saying
yeah.
it's bad. Again, this is probably like an 8.5 out of 10 song. But in the scope of the album, you know, I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I out of pocket? Am I?
I, I mean, I thought it was a really good tribute. Now, granted, I don't know anything
Oh, it's a
about,
great tribute, but I'm
yeah,
just saying. I
as
don't
a
know.
song to listen to. I liked it quite a bit. I liked I liked Cat, their chorus, and their little part. I don't know who was rapping along, like it was like the chorus, and then like someone else was rapping along over it. I think it was Jerobi, but yeah, that I thought that was beautiful. I liked the end. I was when I was listening to the song at first, I thought like my Apple Music broke or something because it got to normal cry and then it just like stopped. But that's just like the silence before the guitar solo. I don't know if I liked that too much, but I know it had like a bunch of meaning behind it. Like there's a reason why they just like stopped it there.
Any thoughts, Brandon?
Yeah, pretty much what I already said. Basically, it's a nice tribute. I think the production's really nice. I like the abrupt ending. Just caught me off guard, and then you just have the guitar. Um, I don't know if I like the guitar too much, but overall, I think it's a good song. I like the production. I like the whole tribute song. Even though I don't know much about Five before this album.
Okay. Well, with that, we're moving forwards into moving backwards. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
yeah. Yeah. I'm clever like that. Um, but yeah, this song I really like it. It gets the feeling that likely that they feel Q-Tip and all of them and Tribe, that they feel like being established as legends. Yet as time moves on, there's people that don't recognize that even, or there's this weird back and forth with fame that's hard to explain. But I feel like it did a good job doing that. What do you guys think?
I think um yeah, I think it was a really good song. I loved Anderson Paak on this song. I don't listen to a lot of his personal discography, but he's just so smooth, man.
He's one of music's best, like, people, like, across every genre.
Yeah.
He's just one of the best artists out right now. One of the most creative minds, one of the greatest singers out right now. And you're right, it's a beautiful part.
And just like he really gets the I mean it's a pretty like simple message. You know, nobody wants to be forgotten. Nobody wants to feel like they're moving backwards in their own life and making the wrong steps. And like this whole song, you know, Pac, Q-Tip, Jerobi, they all they all get that point across really well. It's just a really nice song.
Yeah, I agree. Really nice song. It's like like, okay, I made it this far now. How do I not regress? Type of thing. And I think you can apply it to a lot of things from like, from like school to like addiction to like, whatever. It can apply to whatever. Because no one wants to go backwards and like regress. We all want to move up.
Yeah, I really like it as a type of a song. Just looking at that weird, bizarre concept of fame as a whole. I really like it. But moving forward, next we got uh this is one of my more favorite tracks on the album. And it might be just my personal love for Kendrick Lamar, being making me biased, but I love that kind of subtle beat that it plays, and then you have Kendrick come on with his, you know, big long words. He has those multi-syllable rhymes, which are always nice. Um, the hook is catchy again, like we've been saying. Great hook, and Tribe on here just it feels like a Tribe song. I can't explain it. It just belongs. It's great. I love it. What do you guys think?
I like the production on this track. It's really good. I don't know how to like explain it, but like, I get this like this image of like nighttime or something like that. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. And I really love Kendrick's verse too. His verse is really good.
Any thoughts, Richard?
Yeah, after uh I don't know how long it's been since Kendrick's last album. I'm guessing I'm guessing 4 years at this point. It'll be 4 years. Uh, but after the drought of having like no new Kendrick, hearing something new in this song was just like it was just astonishing to me. Like I was so surprised when I heard him after Fife's verse, and his part of the hook too, just perfect. It's a great song. I really wish it was longer though. I could have
It is short. It's
I could have
very
used
short.
another verse from Q-Tip or Kendrick even. More Kendrick would
Mm.
have been great. But yeah, it was just it's awesome. It's a great song.
All right. Next up, we got the probably the biggest earworm of the whole album, Ego.
Yes.
What do you think about it? You guys go first.
Is this your favorite song, Richard? I don't think you mentioned your favorite song.
It's hard to really place a favorite for me, but Ego is definitely up there. I mean, you have like Jonathan said, Q-Tip just going like ego, ego, just it's so catchy. And
It's a funky song for sure. Like it's
yeah,
great.
the beat sounds like almost menacing, which kind of makes sense given like he's putting ego in like a negative light, like it's the driver for us to like do something, even if it's not necessarily like the maybe it's not like the best for us, but it's stuff to satisfy our ego. It's something else. It's really great, and it's so strange because with well maybe not with Tyron, but with Die Lit like last time like for me it fell off like towards the end, and with uh we got it from here, like it's still been strong songs throughout like the whole thing, and I'm just like surprised like Ego almost second to last track on the album, and it's still like just as good as some of the first couple of songs.
Yeah, ego's great.
Yeah.
Um, but I really like when artists dive into that concept of bragging and look at it for what it is. Because lots of rap lyrics, especially in modern trap, they're very you know, braggadocious. They're stunting on the beat, you know? Talking about the money, clothes, cars, hoes, you know? And hearing someone dissect that, which it's, I mean, Tribe isn't the first group or artist to explore that concept, but they do it in a very unique way, and it's so good. Oh, that hook is so good. Brandon, do you have any thoughts?
Um, Not much. I did want to say that the album's been pretty consistent because I know for like we talked about Dilator or whatever, it kind of fell off towards the end. It's been consistent. I agree with Richard. It's been really consistent.
Oh yeah. Well, the consistency continues with this last song. We got the Donald.
We got Gyppy.
Uh yeah, this song is kind of funny cuz they named it the Donald and this was 2016, you know, when a different the Donald was out, but no, this is a tribute, a direct tribute to Fife, and honestly, the strongest one on the album and my favorite tribute on the album to Fife. Hearing that reoccurring Fife dog, you know, in the back from Busta is so. It's such a cool musical element that just keeps reminding you, like, yeah, this is what this song's about. And I don't know, I love this song. It's a great closer to a fantastic album, and it I don't know. It's like the end credits music, like a movie. It's just perfect. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it was a good closer. I think yeah, of all the tributes, uh yeah, this one was a pretty good tribute too. I like how it ends with Fife, because he passed away, and I think it's a great way to end the album, by like, because he's like history, and like he's part of music history, because this album was really good, and for him to um for his verses, because he passed away, but the verses that he did record were still really good, and I think it's only what's the term? It's only fitting that they end the album with him, with a tribute to him.
Hmm.
Yeah, really good tribute, really good closer.
Richard?
Yeah, it's a really great song. It's a really great last song. It makes sense given that he passed during the making of this album, that they pay tribute in any way they can, ending the last song. I think when I was reading about this album, is this the last album they'll put out, like, as a
Yeah.
group? Yeah, so put like making the last song that they'll ever make as a group about their fallen member is, it's heartwarming. It's really nice. I like I like Fife's line about no reading from your WhackBerry, because there was a, well, Drake was doing some freestyle on some radio show, because they tend to ask people to do that, and he was reading off of his BlackBerry, like he was reading lines, and people usually like freestyle, and I know like not everybody like freestyles. They'll just like rap lyrics from other songs that they haven't put out or something. But like I thought that line was pretty funny. Just like calling Drake out like that shamelessly.
All right. Well, with that, that's the album. We got it from here. Thank you for your service. Now it's time for the best, not really the best part of each of these podcasts. We get to say our final thoughts and give it that nice, sweet, arbitrary rating. What do
No
you
one cares
guys?
except
Yeah.
for us.
What do you guys think?
Okay, I'll go first since I'm the zoomer. Wait, no, we're both zoomer. Okay,
Both, yeah.
um, I'm gonna give it an I want to say either no. 9 out of 10. I think it was really good. For my first Tribe Called Quest album and going back into it, I thought it was really good. There's definitely a lot that I missed my first time listening to it. So, sitting down, listening to the messages, listening to like the production and just overall actually enjoying the album. I thought it was really good, really consistent throughout. So I think it deserves a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 through 9 out of 10. Good scores.
Okay. Okay. Richard, what do you think?
Overall, the entire album was really consistent. There wasn't really a dull moment for me. I know I mentioned Busta Rhymes as being some of the weaker points on the album, but that's just personal preference. It's not really. I don't think he made any of the songs worse. I don't think you should be. I don't think you should be off of any of them. It's just not my thing. It's hard to give a score to this because on one hand, I acknowledge that it is, it is just one hit after another. It's perfect to me, and I want to give it a 10. But on the other hand, it's like I don't know if I'll come back to this that much, like to listen recreationally. So like I can acknowledge that it's like a masterpiece or close to it, but it's I don't know if I'll come back to it regularly to like justify that score. Like does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. So like I think I'm not trying to like oversell or like overshadow anybody. I think it's a 10. It's just consistent the whole way through. There's not really like a really downer moment on the whole thing. And each song brings something new uh to the table, something interesting. And I had a really fun time listening to it.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess I'll close with my final thoughts. This is if I had to make a top 10 list instead of that top 5 list, this would be on there. This is one of my favorite albums. I have it on my wall. I have the vinyl. I I love it. I listen to any song that comes across on shuffle. Don't skip. Um, it's powerful. It's emotional. It's my favorite Tribe album. Uh, anyone who likes Low End Theory or Midnight Marauders better, I understand. But this came at such a interesting part of my life, and I got to experience it firsthand. It's not. I grew up, or I didn't grow up, but I matured to Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders. This I got to experience firsthand when it came out. So it might just be the generational bias, but and I think that over the past 4 years, the more I've listened to this album, it's only gotten better with age. It's it's a near perfect album. It's hard to have a perfect album, but this is as close to it as you can possibly get. Um, so I'm gonna give it a 9.5 J Coles out of 10 J Coles. Um, very good album. A classic, a modern classic. And I know that Fife Dog's memory will be known from this album far longer than his earthly life was. It's fantastic. But with that, uh, did you have something to add?
I was gonna say it's pretty cool, like your last album being like that good, like almost a 10 out of 10 for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. It's powerful. It's a great album. I love it. They're musical geniuses.
Mm.
But with that, that concludes this episode of the Slowed and Reverb podcast. Uh, Next week we'll review. I think it's Richard's turn to pick. We'll review something he picks. If you guys have any suggestions, questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments. We'll look at them. He could even review an album that you guys suggest that we might not have heard, or I don't know. We'll have to find out in the future. But Until next time, thanks for joining, thanks for listening, and hope to see you again. Peace.
Later, guys.
See you guys.